To the Retail Talks program, where as Vispera we evaluate the digital transformation for CPGs and retailers. As we all know, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic is driving retailers worldwide to fundamentally reassess how they do business. Due in part to its many challenges and threats, the past year has moved retail digital transformation forward at previously unknown speeds. The crisis has also made clear the importance of technology in the industry. Today, we have Gerd Wolfram with us to discuss these developments. Gerd is known worldwide as one of the retail industry's leading technology innovators and a pioneer in the realm of automatic computing and IoT. Gerd was the Senior Vice President and Head of Systems and Solutions at SmartTech, and formerly he was the CIO and then the Managing Director at Metro Group. Welcome, Gerd. We are very glad to have you with us today.
Thank you.
So,
good day, and thank you for the introduction. Nice words.
Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you and discuss what's going on in the retail domain. Well, Gerd, the need for digitization in the retail industry was on the agenda before COVID, but of course it gained speed with the COVID. How do you think physical stores will relate to technology in the post-COVID universe?
Yeah, that's a good question because everybody is now thinking that after COVID or during COVID, retail stores or physical retail stores will disappear. I don't think that it will happen. What we see is, of course, in the COVID Corona time, we see more increasing online sales. So people buying online, people do click and collect or do delivery. That, of course, leads to less sales for pure stationary stores. But I hope, and signs are good, that pandemic or Corona will disappear. And people, and I see it in Germany, which we have very good figures there. Goes down, so stores are opening now, and I see a trend that people are still going and people want to go into physical stores. And I see also a trend that these online shopping and all these features what people used during the COVID, it will still be there. So it will be, both things will be there. You go online shopping and do things like that, click and collect and things like that, but you also go into the store to have another shopping experience, which you cannot have online. Therefore, I think another effect from the pandemic is that physical stores will have more technology than before. So there was a big investment, would say trend or investments in new technology due to the pandemic time, especially in technology which makes the shopping easier, more secure. That means contactless, because people are still feeling a little bit uncomfortable in stores where a lot of people are around. So I think this feeling will still remain after a long time after the pandemic. People want to store secure, contactless, of course, but anyhow, in the store you have a salesperson, you have somebody standing at the checkout, so you go into near contact, and for this there are a lot of new technologies or retailers invest in new technologies like contactless payment and other things. But also I see there is a trend to a lot of other technologies like use of cloud or cloud migration, artificial intelligence, supply chain technology or processes. IoT technology is coming more and more. Robotics is coming. We are not at the end there, but companies, retailers invested in this and did the first steps. And there's a lot of digitalization in terms of, or in areas of data analytics. to know more how people are buying, what they are buying, when they are buying. I think this has to do with the pandemic times now, but this has also to do with a general shift, how the customer shifts in the years. So in retail, we sometimes talk about customer 4.0. You know, there's a new stage of customer, there's a new customer. Customers are different to customer I was, or shopper I was, or I am. Customers have more demands now. They are more selective. You know, you can say in the food sector, people are buying things because they are vegetarians or vegan or others. They are more selective in buying things, and I think also they need what they want to buy. They have a real thinking. If they go into the store, I want to buy this, exactly this, because they have informed about the products in advance. What is not so, when I was a customer, a shopper, a family shopper, we just went in and we want to buy milk. Doesn't matter which milk we buy. But today people look, okay, if they buy milk, they know exactly what milk they buy. Soya milk or vegan or whatever. This is also a shift in the customers' behavior they have. And they are also using more technology. They know exactly what they want to buy because they have informed themselves on the mobile phone and know exactly what's in the store and which brand can I buy and things like that. Well, but not only with the mobile phone to inform beforehand, but they also use the mobile phone later on for the checkout to do the payment and things like that. Well, which is, I see as a trend in Europe. The trend is more coming, and I know, and I can tell you about the digital shopping, which is going on in China, which is tremendous different. People are using more phones or only phones to do their shopping, whether they do the online shopping from home or they are on the way to work, or they use it in the store to get product information from the product or to do the payment and other things. But this is China and not Europe.
Well, when the customers are so, they know what they want, this means that the retailers must have superior execution to serve the customer needs. We see next generation digital solutions for there, and computer vision seems to win at the shelf. What do you think? How do you evaluate the influence of computer vision and AI for this retail digitization?
Yeah, now we are talking about, let's say, concretely about out-of-shelf situations. Yeah. And there are a lot of out-of-shelf situation when the customer stands in front of the shelf and there's not the product he wants to have. Right. I said before, he's very precise. He knows exactly I want that. And if it's not there, it's a bad situation for the customer. He is disappointed. He looks for another product, probably. But if not, he went out and says, okay, I go to another retailer. So he goes to the competitor, or he says, I try it next time, but more or less he's dissatisfied. Or he can also order it online. So might also be the case. So and to overcome this is a problem retail has since beginning of retail, more or less. Let's say since 80 years or so. If you think that the invention of the barcode is the start of retail, but anyhow, retail is older than that. But out of shelf and everything, I think, is very old, and it's a problem which a retailer always wants to solve, because it doesn't want that the customer does not take the product he wants, because it's lost sales, more or less. And if you look at the figures, there are studies, it's a huge amount of money which is lost sales, or which is lost by the retailer due to out of stock. So, or out of shelf, let's say, because the theory behind is very difficult because these words retailers talk about out of stock, out of shelf, in the stock but not on the shelf, and there's a lot of things because the product might be in the store but not on the shelf. That's a problem then also for the customer. Some customers ask the shopper, the salespeople there, and ask them, okay, where's the product? Can you get me the product? But most of them do not do that. Right. Therefore, this problem is very old and has to be solved, and would be solved very. I would say retailers would be happy if this problem would be solved, but there are a lot of attempts and a lot of solutions in that. But there's not a solution or not an approach which really is very good. And you can have people looking around, salespeople looking around, is shelf empty, and then they refill the shelf. But I know this is then the problem of personal costs. You have a lot of people, salespeople in the store, which looking around. Another thing is you can use RFID in smart shelves to see whether a product is out of the shelf or not. Very expensive, very difficult to install. And there are other technologies, and you said these are new technologies like computer vision, and I would say artificial intelligence. I don't know whether this is the right expression for that, but it goes in this area. More or less these technologies, or the technology we are talking about here, is able to do an online real-time SKU level shelf monitoring, exactly seeing what is exactly in the shelf and the next minute is not in the shelf. Yeah, and this is a big advantage. Of course, it's not trivial. It's not easy to have a solution like this because it's real-time monitoring, and you have to have some artificial intelligence, or as you said, some computer vision behind to do some. I would say it's a little bit like pattern recognition. You have a pattern which is a filled shelf, and then you select that, or you make a comparison with an empty shelf and see what is missing or what is not missing, because you want to know exactly how much of or how many of the items are missing. Not only there is an empty shelf. Yeah, and exactly that is the big chance of computer vision and digital solutions to solve this problem. And I think the Vispera solution is an excellent solution and a very good approach to solve the problem.
Oh, and it looks like actually it's not as expensive as people think. Because when you look at the ROI, it really pays for itself within a year. So it really pays to carry out such a computer vision-based solution.
That's right.
Well, what is?
But anyhow, the retailers are not waiting and saying, "Okay, I want to invest," because they have a lot of other fields where they invest in. So they have to be very selective and say, "Okay, next time I do this, next year I do this," because retailers and investing in technology is always a big problem because we had in my previous time we always talked about if we invest something technology in a store, we have to sell a lot of more yogurts to pay for this. Mm-hmm. Because the margin in food industry is very low. It's not in retail. Therefore, we have to sell a lot of goods, a lot of items to do a big investment or do investment.
Right. We did some.
It's different in other areas of retail. So in fashion, so the margins in fashion are higher than in food. That's the problem, especially in Germany, where the food is very cheap.
Even with food, especially in faster moving goods, it seems to pay off very quickly. Of course, they may not want to implement it in every category, but categories like alcoholic beverages or fast moving goods, then it really pays off to do it real time, to get real time information?
I would retailers give an advice, start with the very fast moving goods and then further on do the experience there and then go to the slow moving, like high price items like alcohol and things like that.
Right. Well, which areas do you think analytic solutions would be implemented to better serve business results faster? I mean, it could be demand forecasting, analyzing shopper behaviors, data visualization. Which areas do you think is the most beneficial implementations?
You know, I would say start with the pain point of the retailer, and the pain point is out of shelf. And the other things then can be a good additional benefit in that. So if you would implement it first, the camera is doing the shelf recognition and then analyzing is there out of stock or out of shelf, then you can have additional applications behind that. So the basis is to see the shelf and see out of shelf, and then you can, for example, trigger salespersons or store personnel to say and give them an automatic alert to refill the shelf if it's empty. Because you know it's always you are a shopper, I am a shopper, a lot of people are shoppers, and if you were standing in front of a shelf and the shelf has a lot of empty spaces, this is, you know, what do you think then as a shopper? You might think, okay, these are very fast moving articles, or you think, okay, they don't have it on shelf, it's not in the store, they don't have it. What do you do then? You turn around and go. And you have seen, and you know, some pictures where you have out of shelf. This is amazing and negative for retailer, having, you know, a full shelf normally, and that this shelf has empty spaces, and this is not a good marketing for a retailer.
Right.
Therefore, I would start with the really main pain, and then move over to other things like forecasting, demand forecasting, which is then, or you know, planogram rightness, things like that, which I see then more as an additional application, also beneficial, of course, but additional. But you can also do planogram with Vispera, and with this approach, you can do give the planograms to the brands and say, okay, you are there and there and there. This is you can change it or not. You can have the shopper benefit that the shelf is always filled, but hopefully always filled, and the demand focus as well.
Well,
therefore, I would say there's a bundle to finalize your question. There's a bundle of benefits and bundle of applications out of that. But I would start with the main
pain point.
Well,
during the pandemic, we saw acceleration in these new buying behaviors like BOPIS, buy online, pick up in store, curbside delivery, click and collect, etc. This, of course, brings additional burden to retailers since physical stores need to serve both online and offline customers. How do you think retailers can close this gap between an online and offline for this new generation shopping behaviors like BOPIS? I mean, what do you think about the need for real-time inventory accuracy with these new shopping paradigms?
Yeah, I think that real-time inventory and even that the customer can online access the store and see that's really the things they want to buy are in the store. It's becoming more and more important. It's also important for pure online retailers to see what they have in stock and can say, I sell it to you. If you do the mixed retail online and stationary or stationary retail, it's even more important. Because, as I said, in the future we will have the mix. We will have people who do online and even the people who do online, they want to see really is the product in stock. And not I buy it and then the retailer is giving me another product because he says, okay, it's not there. That's not what the people want.
Exactly.
Therefore, this is becoming more and more important. Even as I said, if you were a pure online retailer, people want to see that the things they want to buy are in the store, so that the delivery is not okay. You can buy it, but you get it in 14 days. They want it, as I said before, they want it now or next day. And therefore, I also think that Vispera solution can help there, showing really the products which are in the store, in stock.
Well,
on
there
the
are
shelf.
other solutions for this challenge, like fixed camera. In addition to fixed cameras monitoring shelves, there are robots, drones. What are the advantages, disadvantages of these different solutions?
To make it short, the Vispera solution and this with the cameras and shelf side, this solution giving a real-time SKU level. There's a robot coming, and next 5 minutes the next robot is coming. Even the drones are, of course, they are flying and they fly to the next shelf and next shelf and next shelf, but it's not a real time, because fast-moving goods, there's a lot of, during the daytime, shopping time, there are a lot of shoppers there and taking products. So the information which you get by the robots or by the drones are always outdated. They are not real-time actual.
Okay.
Of course, that might be cheaper, or there might be less installation, but big advantage of real-time information in these times we have today is tremendous.
One last question, maybe. If we look at it from CPG point of view, in some specific categories, the movement of products on the shelf can be very fast and unpredictable. So this makes supply chain operations hard to manage. And weakness in replenishment process affects both CPG brands and retailers. So for CPG brands, there's loss of sales opportunity when their products is not on the shelf. And of course, shoppers may switch brands and lose loyalty. So is there a way for CPGs to prevent it? Because retailers own the shelves and they can install cameras and monitor the shelves in real time, but CPGs, what can they do?
They can also participate on the data from Vispera shelf side. And if they can do their own calculations and forecasting and things like that, if the retailer would let them show the data, because data are generated in the store, and these are normally the retailer's field. But also, of course, both the retailer and the manufacturer or brand are interested that the product is on the shelf and in the store. Because if the retailer loses the sale, it's the same for the brand, because they're in one boat, I would say.
So this could actually be a revenue stream for the retailers, where they can share the data.
They can sell the data to them even.
Well, Gerd, thank you very much for your time and your answers. This has been a very pleasant discussion. So
I have to
hope
thank
see
you. It was very
after
interesting.
Post-COVID time.
Yes, thank you. Times are going better, and I hope everything for everybody in the world.
I hope so too.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.